Okay, obviously breaking news and a project at the Atu screen and chain at the Amamono. President Mahama on CJ's advice dismisses petition to remove Justice Yoni Kulendi as Supreme Court judge. Obviously, President Mahama received a petition via NPP minority for NFI a petition against Sir Judge HSA na pesa President Mahama they remove Justice Kulendi at the Free Supreme Court. And finally, President Mahama dismisses a petition or say a prima facie case who any prima facie case against Justice Kulendi. Mommy ready there also a project say Atu your screen and change the amamno petition against Justice Kulendi will not proceed after Chief Justice finds no prima facie case. Ebusuya eno ena ye de ebrema Chief Justice Paul Bafoboni omocha who any prima facie case against Justice Kulendi. Ebusuya we any breaking news ye de ebrema unsubscribe subscribe like and share ma afofron so enter into me and kabi Ghana Politics Avenue. So, and don't forget to click on the notification bell so that any updates be you be dropping on so able to me akabi madam ase.
Confidence that the Electoral Commission will comply with the Supreme Court's directive to suspend the planned rerun of the Kpandai parliamentary election. The Apex Court earlier today ordered the Electoral Commission to halt all preparations after lawyers for Matthew Nyandam applied for alternative means of serving court proceedings or processes on the NDC parliamentary candidate. Now, during proceedings earlier today, that's lawyers for the Kpandai MP, led by Gary Nemako, notified the court that attempts at serving the court processes on the NDC's candidate, Daniel Nsala Wakpai, were unsuccessful. He said the NDC candidate had essentially evaded service. Nemako thus moved a motion to substituted or for some substituted service to enable them properly serve the application on Daniel Wakpal, the court documents which the court granted. In fact, let's hear from the NPP's Director of Elections after the court hearing today. Take a look.
We can have a situation where this judgment has been given, it is being contested, and other interested parties will run so fast and not allow the process to go to its conclusion. That for me is not fair. And so what the Supreme Court has given today will send a signal to all those who thought that they can have their way. It is important that we allow the law to rule.
Well, so that's what's happened today in court. What that effectively means is that the Electoral Commission now would have to halt its own plans, preparations, ahead of that December 30 date that they announced last week. Fatima Abubakar is the former information minister, and she was in court to say she's a private legal practitioner as well. And this is what she had to say. Take a look.
I would like to express our most profound gratitude to the bench. The Honorable Court, in the interest of justice, has listened to the prayer of the legal counsel for the applicant and has ordered that the second interested party, which is the Electoral Commission, should suspend all preparations towards conducting the rerun in Kpandai constituency on 30th December and wait until such a time that the main or the substantive case, which is the application for an order of certiorari from this court seeking to quash the judgment delivered by the High Court in Tamale on 24th November 2025. Also, the Honorable Court has ordered that we serve the first interested party, or Mr. Nsala Wakpal, the NDC parliamentary candidate by substituted service, through his WhatsApp, the High Court Tamale notice board, at the Supreme Court and also at his residence in Kpandai. He prayed for suspension of the process, first one to the hearing of the substantive matter, and that is contained in the supplementary affidavit that was served on the Honorable Court. So we are most grateful to the court.
Well, let's get on to Zoom right now. Martin Kpandai, private legal practitioner, is joining us. Also, Rashid Tanko Computer, Sofo Rashid Tanko Computer is joining us. Yesterday I got to know that name. He is the acting director of IT and elections for the NDC. Gentlemen, good evening. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Great. I'll start off with you, Lawyer Martin Kpandai. What's happened today in court was a position that was espoused by quite a number of people prior to today, that to the extent that there was a pendency of this application at the Supreme Court, the Electoral Commission would have rather been minded to wait until the determination of this matter, even before coming out to announce a date for the rerun. And it appears this is the same, reasoning that the courts have upheld, is it not? So what was the other alternative that perhaps could have influenced the Electoral Commission's decision to not look this direction?
Mr. Okanse, so straight to the point, that other reason is the decision in Justice Tokonu versus the Attorney General, the matter concerning the Puaman committee, right? And even before that, there are other decisions where the Supreme Court held that, look, when a public officer has a duty to perform under the Constitution, the mere filing of an application for injunction doesn't stop the public officer, right? Mm-hmm. So that is the reasoning that has been extended to the certiorari application too. You see, so this one, you can't really blame the EC. Let's wait and get the full decision of the court. So right now, it means that we've all become wiser that, okay, that principle that don't stop as a public officer when you are served with an application for injunction may not necessarily apply if it's a certiorari, But this one I'm saying, please, let's wait till we see the full decision of the court. Mm-hmm. But maybe so far with what is happening, that's the guess we can hazard. So really, to be honest, it's not something you can blame the EC. And then, I kept saying that, well, in any event, not much has been lost, because if the EC hadn't acted, it would have been that who has injuncted the EC, who has made an order that the EC shouldn't act. So these things, they happen. In law, they happen. It's fine.
Well, but the court took issue with the Electoral Commission today that they have not entered appearance and they are busily preparing to have a rerun of an election that has an application pending which could impact whether or not that election they are preparing for will take place. And that's one of the issues that came up as well.
Yes, from the reportage, your reporters and other media reported it. Yes, so it means that the EC has to learn from it, that the court would at all or in all circumstances require that the EC be represented by senior management. I mean, why not? If it can be the EC chair, sure. If not, at least the deputies. So it's fine. Sometimes these things happen. I'm looking at the general picture, right? The general picture, yes, the Supreme Court would insist that parties or persons who have an interest in the case should attend. It shows respect to the court, right? And so it helps so that sometimes when certain issues that are within the purview of only the management arise whilst a case is being heard, then the court would have answers there and then to help in adjudicating the matter. So that's how come the Supreme Court is not happy that the EC wasn't represented at the highest level. So, I mean, we are all learning from it, and then we would see how it goes, yes.
But then we're back to the previous position prior to today that was espoused by some lawyers that until the determination of this particular application at the Supreme Court, the application to quash the decision of the Tamale High Court is determined, this election cannot take place. That's essentially what this means.
Yes, so that's fine. That's fine. Yes, like it's become, differences in opinion. You remember the main issue that until the application has been determined. Mr. Okanse, like I'm saying, you see, let's wait till we see the full decision. Let's wait till we see the full decision. Let's not forget that this is not the first time that you have a matter pending in the Supreme Court, and yet a public officer will go ahead. Before this EC matter, you remember the infamous e-levy. Yes, the e-levy, Oliver Bakavomao had sued. The matter was before the Supreme Court, and yet GRA went ahead. And you remember citizens were upset that give respect to the court, give respect to the court. That's the one Furiata, finance minister, had famously misled us that e-levy would raise a lot of billions of Ghana cedis, and so it will lead to job creation, etc. And so they said they were in a hurry. They disrespected the court and went ahead. Oliver, I think there was talk of filing a contempt application, etc. It didn't lead anywhere. We could give many other examples. So in matters like this, that's why in law, we always say that we are always learning. Yes, today you see a decision, then you appear to see the logic in it. So to be honest, on Saturday, on the key points, as one of the proponents who said, look, based on the decision of the Supreme Court that, look, mere filing an injunction doesn't stop a public officer from acting, I'm with the EC for going ahead. And I still stand by it, so meaning that I'll not run away from it, because sometimes you see the logic in one decision, and that's the ratio in one decision, and you can apply it to other cases. You will never get the Supreme Court to be able to give a decision in every case. In this one, they've come to say that no, they are suspending the decision, the EC's decision. As I said, let's wait and see the reasoning they give for it. Then they can give guidance for future actions. But still, I'm not ashamed that I supported the EC, and it's not as if that was outrageous. No, because of the Tokonu decision and the few other decisions. Yes, even the Welford, Kwaku, any other decisions. When the matter is a serious issue of public importance, usually the public officers have acted and there's not been any consequences.
Right. Counsel, appreciate your time on this. Thank you so much for joining us. Martin Pebo is private legal practitioner, but he didn't come in to judge the matter. And in mediation, you will just obviously have to be guiding the two parties for them to reach their own solution proposed by themselves. And he has said that all the parties involved in the Bawku conflict must commit and obey the peace mediation report presented to President John Mahama earlier today. Speaking at the Jubilee House, Asante Otumfuo said to explain that he has informed all parties involved that his intervention was only a mediation exercise and not an arbitration. Take a look at this.
For us to have peace. It is almost about 2.5 years since your predecessor invited me to mediate in a major conflict in Bawku that had not only claimed the lives of many innocent souls, but had become a major threat to the security of the nation. Almost a year ago, the people of Ghana handed the mandate of the governance of Ghana to Your Excellency, and you wasted no time in reaffirming the mandate of the Bawku mediation. By the grace of God, we are able to assemble here this morning for us to present to Your Excellency the report of the mission you entrusted to us. We present a report for your kind consideration, whatever action you and your government consider appropriate. It should be binding on all of us, whoever is there. I've spoken to before I came yesterday, I was on the phone for more than with my brother, the Nairi, explaining the circumstances to him in terms of the decision I took. And I have spoken to the Bokunapa, taking time all these periods to be speaking to everybody about it. Just want to clarify. My son Cletus Avokaif is here because he has to be very careful in what pronouncements he made publicly. It is not right. It's a dicey situation. We are all trying to make amends and get people to move together as brothers and sisters. It looks like he's making various pronouncements and all that, which wouldn't endure to the peace that we want. So please, I wanted to, if he was here, I was going to tell him, but the message will get to you. I invite him and tell him that we've gotten to a state where we all have to find peace. Then Bokunaba is the Bokunaba. The law is on his side. We agree to that. But you don't make pronouncements on radio and everywhere that will incense the other side. Where we have reached is more like reconciliation. The Nairi accepts, we have to get them all together.
That's what Akuffo said to the second day. He also called for the strict enforcement of Ghana's laws, recognizing Asegre Abugrago Azoka II as the lawful Bokunaba, describing it as the most crucial step towards lasting peace in Bawku and the wider Kusasi area. Take a look.
Bawku was mentioned in the proposed terms of settlement of the Nairi as one of the towns that the Mamprisi wanted to be given to the Nairi. Unfortunately, the law as it stands now makes Asegre Abugrago Azoka the lawful chief of Bawku, and so it is impossible legally to do any such thing in this mediation exercise. On the question of Bawku town, I have taken the position that the established tradition since 1931 thereabout is that the person who is Bokunaba has the entire Kusasi area by law and the declarations of the Supreme Court of Ghana. Asegre Abugrago Azoka is a Bokunaba, and there cannot be any rival residing in Bawku claiming otherwise. I have impressed upon my brother the Nairi to accept that recognition by law in appreciation of the enduring brotherhood that has existed between our two kingdoms in order to ensure lasting peace and eliminate the national and international security threats that my brother himself is so concerned about. I have been candid with my brother the Nairi that the purported enskinment of Mr. Seydou Abagari as Bokunaba cannot stand.
Well, that's Akuffo said to the second. They're quite clear in his words, and the message, the proposal that's captured in this particular report, which he expects, he says that it's left to this government to decide on what to do with it. But President Mahama said the presidency will issue a statement in the coming days on the way forward regarding this particular report. Take a look.
I'm pleased that we have come to the end of that journey and we're embarking on the next leg of the journey. And as he himself said, this was not an arbitration. An arbitration normally will make an award on who is right and who is wrong. This was a mediation, and the next leg of the journey is to reconcile our two brothers and sisters from the Kusasi and the Mamprisi side. This conflict is not winnable militarily. No side can vanquish the other. Bawku is important to us because it is in the extreme northeast corner of our country. And we all know what is happening just across the border from Bawku. I can assure him that government would look at this report, and within the next 24 hours, government will issue a statement.
So within the next 24 hours, we expect that statement from government, as indicated by the President, John Dramani Mahama there. And the way forward has both the governance side of things, the security side of things as well. As we do know, from last week, we showed you the Ghana Armed Forces' own preparation towards today or ahead of today, and then beyond today as well, the measures they put in place to ensure that they are also strategically positioned to ensure that they contribute their role in ensuring the lasting peace in Bawku after today. Now, Professor Enoch Entry is a governance expert. He's joining us on Zoom right now. Prof, good evening. Thank you for joining us here on Ghana Tonight. The President was quite clear in his words, just as Akuffo said. that, yes, their work as the Otumfuo-led mediation team has ended today, but the bigger work begins beyond today, is it not, as to whether this report indeed will be that catalyst to ensuring the lasting peace in Bawku, isn't it?
Yes, good evening, Alfred, and greetings to your viewers everywhere in the world. First, we need to recommend the President for identifying Otumfuo to be the mediator for the long-standing Bawku conflict. And we also have to thank Otumfuo for accepting to do this job, because mediating is a very difficult job. If we look at what has happened